Hello, welcome. This is the Tort Liability Assignment, Module 13 for EDL 951. First order of business is to define a tort liability. It's the obligation of one party to a victim as it results through a civil wrong or injury. And the court system must help remedy this situation. If there is a transgression of a public obligation causing damage or a private wrongdoing, evidence has to be looked at by the court, and there has to be a hearing to identify who the tortfeasor or / liable party is in each case. I reviewed 5 different cases. The first one, Johnson & Johnson versus School District of Millard. There was a teacher that was playing London Bridge. She had given specific directions to the class, and the teacher was present in the room. However, a student ended up getting hurt, somehow fell or got thrown against bookcases and resulted in a whole bunch of stitches and facial issues. If this were to happen in my district, an investigation would ensue by the district and the building administration, and of course there would be cooperation with the legal counsel. Although this wasn't included in the reading, some proactive measures would be supervision of students should be stressed by administration and probably gone over as a review. And the ethics that would be beneficial in this particular case is sometimes being present in the room doesn't necessarily mean that you're actively engaged with students, so I think that would be some important things to go over. The second one was school district faces a judgment in a child's injury. This one was kind of terrible in the fact that a student fell on some bushes and shrubs that had been cut and protruded into his eye and then into his brain. So he had some long-lasting effects from that situation. And again, the district would work with whoever they needed to help with this situation. And the area that was in question would be protected and addressed immediately. The area could have been maintained or finished, the project, and if it hadn't been finished, there was some fencing or something around the hazardous area that could have been probably put up to help avoid injuries or terrible things like this happening. The ethics would be just, it seems like there's some negligence in this case, and the district always has to be on the lookout for concerns. So whoever's responsibility is in that department, those things should be stressed in those areas. The next one I did was golf mishap, and during a golf class they were doing some indoor golfing with wiffle balls. The balls were not the issue here. However, the golf club being swung by a classmate and hitting another student in the head, which resulted in death, did end up being the issue. And reactive measures would be probably some look at policy or the way that this class is taught and the environment in which it is taught in. I think that it would be proactive to take a look at the procedures and protocol that involved with this class. There were some policies and procedures in place on how this class was supposed to be, but there was a student teacher, and that kind of added some of the story, added to the mix. Professional ethics, student supervision is important, and I think that a lot of times we do a lot of things throughout the day, but we can't really explain to someone else how we do those things, and student teachers sometimes get the raw end of that deal. So making sure that we're very clear with student teachers on policies, procedures, and protocol. I have the Hoyam versus Manhattan Beach City School District. This is where a student left school, elementary school student left school, and nobody really paid attention or noticed. He did get hit by a motorcycle. While he's in the hospital, mom comes to visit in the hospital, and she claims that she falls in the hospital from the shock of seeing her son and injured herself, and so that was part of the lawsuit as well. So kind of a complicated one there, but I think there needs to be some type of notification system looked at as far as proactive measures when students leave the building, especially elementary school students. There's a supervision issue that comes into play here, and so I think that looking at all those facts on this case would be helpful. And then I have Mitchell versus Cedar Rapids Community School District, and again, another student. This was a special education student that left school early, an hour early, as a matter of fact, and ended up at a friend's house where then a sexual assault ended up occurring. And I think that again, we're back to the issue of student supervision and some type of notification system needing to be in place, or attendance policy and procedure needing to be in place if students aren't showing up where they're supposed to be showing up. So helping prevent those things would help. This was a great assignment, and I think that it made me realize, kind of a negative thing, but all the things that potentially could go wrong, and that districts, administration, and people in charge need to really take note of that and be diligent in the policies and procedures they put into place so that they can prevent lawsuits. So, thank you very much.